If you're over 60, I need you to listen carefully. Every morning, millions of seniors wake up believing they're starting the day right, stretching, sipping coffee, taking their pills, maybe scrolling through the morning news. These rituals feel harmless, even healthy. But what if I told you that some of these good habits might actually be slowly wearing down your heart? I don't say this to frighten you. I say it because I've seen too many kind, disciplined people follow routines that quietly raise blood pressure, strain the arteries, and rob the heart of its strength without ever realizing it. The irony is painful. You're doing what you think keeps you alive, but it's silently doing the opposite. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 common morning mistakes that may be sabotaging your circulation, your blood pressure, and your recovery. Please stay with me until the end because your heart deserves this knowledge, and it may just change the way you start tomorrow. When you first wake up in the morning, before you even speak a word or take a step, your body has already been working all night. Your heart has been beating, your blood has been flowing, and your cells have been quietly repairing themselves while you slept. But here's what most people don't realize. During those hours of rest, your body slowly loses water through breathing and perspiration. By the time you open your eyes, you're already mildly dehydrated. And for seniors, even mild dehydration can have dangerous effects, especially on the heart. I've had countless patients tell me, "Doctor, I don't feel thirsty in the morning," as if that means they're fine. But thirst isn't the first warning sign, thick blood is. Imagine your bloodstream first thing in the morning. The fluids are low, your circulation slows, and your blood moves like syrup before your first sip of water. That extra thickness forces your heart to push harder, like an engine trying to pump oil through a narrow pipe. Your blood pressure rises, your pulse quickens, and before breakfast even begins, your heart is already under strain. Now imagine repeating that every single day for years. Each morning without water becomes another tiny burden your heart has to carry. The damage doesn't come from one day. It's the slow, silent accumulation of stress over time. That's why so many seniors wake up feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or unusually tired. It's not always age, it's not always medication. Often it's dehydration, a simple preventable stressor that makes the heart work overtime when it should be resting. Your blood is more than a river of red cells. It's your body's transportation system. It carries oxygen, nutrients, and hormones, delivering life to every organ. But when you wake up dehydrated, that river shrinks into a stream. The cells don't receive enough oxygen. The brain becomes foggy. The heart beats faster, trying to make up for lost pressure. This is why morning heart attacks are more common between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., the hours when dehydration, thicker blood, and sudden movement collide. I remember one patient, Mr. Lewis, 72 years old, who told me that every morning his chest felt tight until he'd been up for an hour. He assumed it was just aging. But when I asked about his morning routine, I learned he didn't drink a drop of water until after his first cup of coffee, sometimes not until mid-morning. His blood tests showed signs of mild dehydration nearly every visit. When we changed just one thing, a glass of warm water first thing in the morning, the tightness disappeared within weeks. He didn't need a new pill, he needed hydration. It sounds too simple to matter, doesn't it? One glass of water. But that single act tells your body it's time to wake up safely. It signals your digestive system to activate, your kidneys to flush out toxins, and your circulation to move smoothly again. For the heart, it's like easing into the day instead of slamming on the gas pedal. Here's the gentle fix. Keep a glass or small bottle of water beside your bed. Before you reach for your phone or your coffee mug, take a slow sip. Let it be warm or room temperature, not ice cold. Warm water relaxes your blood vessels, helps the body absorb it faster, and gently nudges your metabolism awake. If plain water feels dull, add a slice of lemon for taste and extra electrolytes. This isn't about chasing trends or detoxes. It's about respecting what your heart needs to function. After 60, the body's water balance changes. You lose more fluids, your kidneys filter less efficiently, and your thirst mechanism becomes weaker. That means you can be dehydrated without realizing it. The older the body, the less room there is for error. Think of your heart as a loyal companion. It's been with you every moment of your life, beating without pause. It doesn't ask for much, just a little help to make its work easier. That first sip of water is that help. It's your way of saying, "I see you, I'm on your side." So tomorrow morning, before the rush, before the pills, before the news, take that moment. Let water be your first medicine. Because skipping it day after day is like asking your heart to climb a hill before the sun even rises. And over time, that hill becomes a mountain. For so many people, the day doesn't begin until that first sip of coffee touches their lips. The aroma fills the kitchen, the warmth soothes the hands, and for a brief moment, it feels like life itself is returning. I've heard it from countless seniors. Doctor, I can't start my morning without my coffee. And I understand that comfort, that ritual, is part of what makes the morning feel alive. But what if I told you that the timing of that first cup could quietly be straining your heart day after day in ways you'd never expect? When you drink coffee before breakfast, especially on an empty stomach, you're giving your body an intense wake-up call it isn't ready for. Caffeine triggers the release of cortisol, your body's main stress hormone. Cortisol isn't inherently bad. It's what gets you out of bed, alert, and functioning. But too much of it, too soon, spikes your blood pressure, raises your heart rate, and tightens your blood vessels. In younger people, the body compensates. But after 60, when arteries stiffen and your cardiovascular system loses elasticity, this surge becomes risky. It's like asking a tired heart to sprint the moment it wakes up. Here's the science in simple terms. Caffeine stimulates your adrenal glands, telling your body to release adrenaline and cortisol, just as it would in a fight or flight situation. That means your heart starts pumping harder, blood pressure rises, and blood vessels constrict, all before you've even had a bite of food. Without nourishment to slow absorption, caffeine hits your bloodstream fast, creating a roller coaster of spikes and crashes. This is why so many seniors feel shaky or dizzy mid-morning, even when they think they've done everything right. I once treated a woman named Mrs. Alvarez, a 68-year-old retired teacher who came to me complaining about morning palpitations. She said every day around 9 a.m., her heart would flutter, and she'd feel slightly anxious for no reason. We checked her medications, her heart rhythm, her blood pressure, all normal. Then I asked a simple question. When do you have your coffee? She smiled. Oh, first thing, before anything else. It's my morning friend. That friend, I told her gently, might be betraying her. We made one small change. Instead of coffee first, she started her morning with a glass of warm water and a light breakfast. Oatmeal or eggs, something with protein and fiber. Only after that could she enjoy her coffee. Within 2 weeks, the palpitations disappeared. Her energy felt steadier. She told me, "It's funny, doctor, I still drink my coffee, but I don't feel like it's drinking me anymore." The goal isn't to give up coffee. It's to give your heart a fair start. When you eat first, your body has nutrients to buffer the caffeine's impact. Glucose stabilizes, cortisol levels rise more gently, and your blood vessels remain relaxed. Think of it like cushioning a fall. Your breakfast becomes the soft landing your heart needs. There's another hidden danger of coffee on an empty stomach: dehydration. Remember the last chapter? Your body is already low on fluids in the morning. Coffee, being a mild diuretic, pushes even more water out of your system. That means your blood becomes thicker, your circulation slows, and your heart must work even harder. It's a 1-2 punch: dehydration from skipping water and a cortisol surge from coffee. When these two combine, the result is a subtle but real strain on the heart. You may not feel pain, but you might feel unease, that slight pressure in the chest, the racing pulse after a cup, the irritability or tension you can't quite explain. Those are your heart's early warnings. Coffee isn't the villain here. It's the timing and the context. When consumed wisely after food and hydration, it can actually help alertness and improve circulation. But when it comes first, it becomes a stress signal, not a comfort. So tomorrow morning, try this. Wake up, drink your water, eat something nourishing, and then let your coffee follow. Give your body permission to wake naturally before you add stimulation. Your heart will thank you with steadier rhythms, calmer mornings, and a deeper sense of balance. You'll still get that familiar comfort from your coffee, only this time it won't come at your heart's expense. For many seniors, the first thing they reach for in the morning isn't water or breakfast. It's their medication. The pill organizer sits faithfully on the nightstand, a quiet reminder of responsibility and survival. You've probably been told for years to take your meds first thing in the morning, and in many cases, that's good advice. But here's the part no one explains. When you take those pills on an empty stomach, especially heart medications or supplements, your good intention can quietly turn into a dangerous routine. I've seen it countless times. A patient walks into my clinic pale and unsteady, describing dizziness or a sudden drop in blood pressure that just came out of nowhere. Often the culprit isn't a new disease, and it's timing. When you swallow medication without food, your stomach is like a dry sponge. It absorbs too quickly or unevenly, sending certain drugs into your system in higher doses than intended. The result can be lightheadedness, nausea, irregular heartbeat, or even fainting. And for an aging heart, those moments of instability aren't just uncomfortable, they can be deadly. Let's talk about why this happens. After 60, your digestive system changes dramatically. The stomach produces less acid, meaning medications don't dissolve or activate the same way they once did. The liver, which processes most drugs, also works more slowly. When you add an empty stomach to the equation, the concentration of medication in your bloodstream can suddenly spike, overwhelming your system. It's like pouring a whole pot of coffee through a tiny filter. It rushes through too fast for your body to handle properly. Heart medications in particular can be tricky. Beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, and certain diuretics are designed to regulate heart rate and blood pressure gently over time. But if you take them without food, their effects can hit all at once. You might feel your heart racing, your blood pressure dropping, or a wave of fatigue washing over you before you've even had breakfast. For others, the problem happens deeper down. Blood thinners and anti-inflammatory drugs can irritate the stomach lining when no food is there to protect it, leading to gastritis, ulcers, or in serious cases, bleeding. I'll never forget one of my patients, Mr. Daniels, a 75-year-old retired carpenter. He came to see me after fainting in his kitchen one morning. His blood pressure had dropped so low that he couldn't stand. When we looked at his routine, I realized he was taking his entire morning lineup of medications, including a blood thinner and his pressure pills, on an empty stomach, followed immediately by coffee. That combination sent his system into shock. We made one simple change. He started eating a small breakfast first, oatmeal or eggs, before taking his pills. Within a week, the dizziness disappeared. He told me, "It's strange, doctor. I didn't change my medicine at all, just when I take it." Timing had been the difference between struggle and stability. The truth is, your body and your medicine need to work together, not against each other. Medications are powerful tools, but they assume your body has the fuel and fluid to process them. When that foundation is missing, the medicine behaves unpredictably. Food slows absorption just enough to allow your body to regulate dosage naturally. It also protects your stomach, supports digestion, and gives your heart steady energy. The fix is gentle and simple. Give your body what it needs before giving it what it depends on. Drink your water first, eat something nourishing, and then take your medication with a calm rhythm. Think of it as teamwork. Your meal cushions the medicine, your blood carries it evenly, and your heart receives it at the right pace. There's another reason this small change matters. Many supplements, like fish oil, vitamin D, or CoQ10, are fat-soluble, meaning they're only absorbed properly when eaten with food that contains healthy fats. Without that, they pass right through your system wasted. So not only is taking them on an empty stomach risky, it's often ineffective. As we age, the body asks for patience, not urgency. You don't need to rush into your medicine the moment you wake. Let your body awaken first. A few bites of breakfast and a glass of water can turn your medication from a shock to a steady ally. Give your heart that grace. It has carried you through every season of life. The least we can do is give it a calm, supported start each morning. So tomorrow, before you reach for the pill bottle, take a moment to remember this. Medicine works best when it meets a body that's ready to receive it. Give your body fuel first. Let your medicine work with your meal, not against it. It's amazing how fast the world rushes into our minds the moment we open our eyes. Before we've even taken a sip of water or a breath of morning air, the phone lights up. Headlines screaming, messages waiting, notifications blinking like alarms. For many seniors, checking the news or scrolling through a phone has become the first habit of the day. It feels like staying informed, staying connected, but to your heart, it feels like stress. When you wake up, your body is still in what doctors call rest and repair mode. Your cortisol levels are naturally rising, preparing you to start the day gently. But when you flood your mind with fear, anger, or urgency from the moment you wake, that gentle rise becomes a spike. Your heart rate jumps, your blood pressure surges, your nervous system, meant to awaken slowly, is thrown into high alert. It's like waking your heart with a fire alarm instead of sunlight. I once spoke with a woman named Judith, 70 years old, who began every morning by watching the news with her coffee. She told me she often felt her chest tighten before she even finished her cup. "It's just stress, doctor," she said. "Everyone feels it." But that kind of stress, repeated daily, isn't harmless. It triggers inflammation, constricts arteries, and sets the stage for high blood pressure that can linger all day. When Judith started replacing her morning news ritual with quiet music and a short walk outside, her blood pressure readings dropped within weeks. The world didn't stop turning, but her heart finally stopped racing. Your emotional state has a direct line to your cardiovascular health. What you see, hear, and think first thing in the morning writes the tone for your entire day. So ask yourself, does your morning begin with peace or panic? Because your heart feels every beat of that choice. But emotional stress isn't the only shock your heart faces early in the day. Physical stress can be just as dangerous. Many seniors believe starting the day with a burst of exercise is healthy, a sign of discipline and vitality. But exercising too intensely right after waking can catch your heart off guard. During sleep, your blood pressure is lower, your muscles are stiffer, and your circulation moves more slowly. Your heart is still in what I call night mode. Forcing it into overdrive too soon can create sudden pressure spikes that strain the arteries and disturb the rhythm of your heartbeat. One of my patients, Harold, 67, prided himself on doing push-ups the moment his feet hit the floor. "It keeps me young," he'd say with a grin. But one morning, he felt lightheaded halfway through and nearly passed out. His blood pressure had crashed from the sudden exertion. When we adjusted his routine, stretching first, walking for 5 minutes, and saving resistance training for later in the morning, his symptoms vanished. The lesson was simple. Your heart needs a warm-up, just like your body. Let it wake up gradually before you demand effort from it. And then there's the third habit, one that feels comforting but can quietly harm you from the inside: the sugary or processed breakfast. Pancakes, cereals, pastries, even healthy granola bars. They may seem innocent, but to your heart, they're a metabolic storm. When you eat sugar or refined carbs first thing in the morning, your blood glucose spikes rapidly. In response, your body floods your system with insulin to bring it down. That swing, the sharp rise and sudden drop, triggers inflammation in your arteries and creates oxidative stress that wears them down over time. For seniors whose insulin sensitivity is already reduced, this becomes a daily cycle of strain. The result? Mid-morning fatigue, mood dips, and long-term risks for heart disease. It's not the one donut that hurts you, it's the quiet repetition. I often tell my patients, your breakfast should calm your blood sugar, not chase it. One of my favorite success stories came from a couple in their 70s who love sweet cereal every morning. They switched to oatmeal with nuts and berries plus a little cinnamon. Within a month, both of them reported steadier energy and fewer afternoon crashes. Their morning glucose readings improved, and so did their blood pressure. "We didn't realize," the wife said, "that we were starting every day by setting our hearts on a roller coaster." That's exactly what these three habits have in common. Checking the news floods your mind with emotional stress. Exercising too soon floods your heart with physical stress. Sugary breakfasts flood your bloodstream with metabolic stress. None of them feel dangerous in the moment, but your heart feels every beat of the chaos they create. Tomorrow morning, pause before you pick up your phone, before you rush into your workout, before you reach for that quick, sweet fix. Give your heart space to start gently. Begin with calm, warmth, and balance, because peace, not pressure, is the rhythm your heart was meant to follow. For so many of us, mornings have quietly become a race. The alarm rings, and before we even take a full breath, the mind starts sprinting. There are things to do, calls to make, pills to take, errands to run. Even in retirement, that sense of urgency lingers, a leftover habit from decades of schedules and responsibility. But here's the truth few people ever hear. Rushing through the morning might be one of the most damaging things you can do to your heart. When you rush, your body releases a surge of stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, the same chemicals designed to save your life in an emergency. But the problem is, your morning routine isn't an emergency. It's supposed to be a gentle transition from rest to activity. Instead, every hurried morning tells your body that it's under attack. Your heart rate speeds up, your blood vessels constrict, and your blood pressure climbs. And for older adults, that constant low-level stress response can linger for hours, keeping the heart in a perpetual state of tension. Over time, this chronic fight-or-flight mode begins to wear down your cardiovascular system. The arteries lose flexibility, the heart muscle tires more easily, and inflammation slowly builds. You might not notice it right away. It often hides behind subtle signs: shortness of breath after mild effort, that afternoon fatigue that creeps in too soon, or the restless nights that seem to come out of nowhere. Your body is whispering that it's exhausted, not from what you do during the day, but from how you begin it. I once had a patient named Margaret, 74 years old, who always seemed rushed. She would show up early to her appointments, out of breath, clutching her handbag like she was late for a flight. "I don't know why I feel anxious all morning," she told me, "even when I have nowhere to be." Her blood pressure readings were consistently high in the mornings but normalized by evening. When I asked her to describe her mornings, she admitted she woke up and immediately began multitasking, feeding the dog, answering texts, making coffee, turning on the TV. "I just want to get everything done before the day starts," she said. That phrase struck me. Before the day starts. She was living every morning as if life hadn't already begun, as if peace and stillness weren't part of the day's worth. I asked her to try something new. No phone, no television, no rushing. Just 5 minutes of deep breathing while sipping warm tea, followed by light stretching before breakfast. It felt silly to her at first. But within a month, her morning blood pressure had dropped by nearly 10 points. More importantly, she smiled when she said, "Doctor, I feel like my mornings belong to me again." That's the power of slowing down. Slowness heals. It gives your nervous system space to shift from fight or flight to rest and restore. It allows your heart to find its natural rhythm again, instead of being pulled by the chaos around it. When you move slowly, you give your heart permission to ease into the day, to wake with you, not chase you. So tomorrow morning, try something radical. Do less. Sit for a moment before standing. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, feel your breath. Let light come into the room before noise. Make your tea or coffee with intention, not hurry. Whisper a word of gratitude before the day begins. These small moments send a powerful message to your heart. You are safe. You can slow down. You are supported. Your morning pace doesn't just shape your day, it shapes your health, your energy, your peace. The world will still be there when you're ready. Life isn't waiting for you to catch up, it's waiting for you to breathe. Your heart has carried you through decades, through love, loss, laughter, and everything in between. It has never asked for anything but care and rhythm. Don't start each day by making it run a race it didn't choose. Start it with calm, with kindness, with gratitude. Because the most powerful way to strengthen your heart isn't to make it beat faster. It's to finally give it permission to rest.